So before we remove all the finish from this floor, we're going to go ahead and show you how to operate the rest of the equipment that might be available to you in your rental center. This is the rotary sander. It's a 16-inch machine, very aggressive. It's going to flatten the floor. It does take some skill to operate, and we'll talk about that in just a minute. It is going to come with some sort of sanding head to attach the paper to. This particular head has 6 different 5-inch pads that you just apply the paper to. You might actually get a sanding head that's a single piece of 16-inch paper. Either way, the machine's going to operate the same. So this particular rotary sander is a dust containment unit, so it's intended to be used with a dust skirt and also a vacuum. So you just install the dust skirt. So I've got the backpack vacuum on, it's attached to the machine. In order to operate this, we're going to lower the handle. We want it down around a comfortable height at your hip. You're going to lock it back into place. It's important that you get the handle locked back into place. So once you get the handle locked in place, you want to kind of keep the handle up against your hip. This machine's got a lot of torque to it and it's going to want to move left and right. Once you get it stabilized, if you want to go to the right, you're going to lower the handle just a little bit. If you want to go to the left, you're going to raise the handle just a little bit. Just in tiny fractions will cause a lot of movement. It's a very aggressive machine, and let me show you how to operate it now. All right, in order to turn the machine on, you're going to push the safety button and squeeze the handle. Again, make sure this handle is braced up against your hip because it is going to start with a lot of torque. One of the other types of machines that you'll find available at your rental center is going to be called an orbital sander. This is the OBS 18. It's a 12 by 18 inch deck. Sometimes you'll hear people refer to it as a square buff, but it is a machine that anybody can run. The beautiful thing about it is it doesn't require any skills. There's no way you're going to be able to ruin or damage your floor with this unit. It operates in an orbital fashion, so you don't have to worry about sanding with the grain of the wood. The one drawback to it is it is going to be slower and less aggressive than the other equipment we've shown you. So if you have a floor that's damaged or in really bad condition, this is probably not the right machine. If you have a floor that's in good condition and you have some time to sand it, this is a great machine for doing that. This is also ideal for actually blending scratch patterns between different machines like the drum machine and the edger, and we'll talk about that a little bit later in this process. So in order to install the sandpaper on this piece of equipment, you simply lean the machine back. The piece of paper is going to come with some sort of either sticky back or a hook back, and it will just apply to the pad that's under that unit. So in order to operate this machine, you're going to plug it in, lower the handle. You can just let the handle float. You don't have to lock it into place. And then again, you're going to push the safety trigger and squeeze the handle. So another type of orbital sander that's available is a multi-disc sander. They're a little bit more aggressive than the square types that we just showed you a moment ago. This particular unit has 3 7-inch heads on the bottom. We'll apply the paper simply by pushing the paper onto the pads. And we'll be ready to go. One of the nice features about this particular unit is that it's very transportable. So it's designed to be multiple components. So you can actually take the handle off by flipping these levers, and the handle lifts off and away. So if you're in a situation where you don't have a truck and you just have a car, this may be the unit that's easier for you to transport to and from your location. It actually has 2 lifting handles, one in the front, one here in the back, so you can get that in and out of your trunk. So to operate this unit, we're going to install the dust bag. It simply slips onto the cuff in the back. We'll plug this unit in. And we're going to lower the handle. So it just spins here. It's got a collar that spins and raises, and that then allows the handle to drop into place. Again, just like the other orbital sander, we're going to let it float. We're not trying to lock it into place. I'm going to push the safety button, squeeze the handle, and we'll be sanding. Again, this unit is an orbital sander, so you don't have to worry about going with the grain of the wood. And one of the neat features about this item is its triangular shape, and you can rotate the head fairly comfortably and get it into some tight spaces and some closets under shelves or actually into a corner of the room. So to operate the EZ8 to sand your floor, again, you're gonna make sure you go with the grain, one pass up and one pass back in the exact same spot. Then you're gonna move over about half the drum and then take your next pass also. Couple of things to realize. One is this machine, when the drum's in contact with the floor, you want to be moving. If you stop while the drum's in contact with the floor, you're gonna leave what's called a drum mark. We'll address some of that a little bit later. There's a handle on this machine that's gonna control that drum. You're gonna have one of two styles, either just this top handle here you might find on the machine you rent, or you might also have this finger lever. And if you have that, then you have the option of either just controlling this with your fingers, or again, you can control it with the main handle as it goes up and down. One thing I want to point out to you also is, as you go up and down on your pass, the best thing to do is to stagger where you stop. So don't always stop in the same spot. Sometimes you're going to come back a little bit further, and then on the next pass, maybe you'll stop a little bit sooner. That way, by staggering that, you won't ever leave kind of a visual sight line on the floor as to where you've been sanding. If you have the expander style drum with the sleeve paper, it's really simple to install. Simply slide it on the end of the cylinder and push it right into place. All right, so to install on a clamp style drum, you're actually going to have to back out these screws, loosen this bar plate up, and then you're going to take this piece of paper and you're going to slide it up underneath that clamp.